You are now listening to the Where's the Line podcast with Joseph West and Britt Dillard. Enjoy the show.
Another edition of Where's the Line. It is Tuesday, August 1st, episode number 89. My name is Britt Dillard. I'm joined here by Joseph West. How are you today, brother?
I'm here. How are you?
I'm here. I'm good. It's August. That's cool.
August.
We got football
August
this month.
1st. We do have football this month.
We got football going on. Vanderbilt's already practicing. Tennessee starts practice tomorrow
Right.
morning.
You'll be
So-
listening to this before they practice, I hope.
Yeah, the day you listen to this, if you're a real listener, is the day that Tennessee starts fall camp. So it's a good day.
Facts. Tennessee starts fall camp tomorrow. I don't know when they'll get into pads. I assume either the end of this week or next week.
Yeah, starting next week will be full pads. It'll be
Okay.
them
Vanderbilt
boys-
started full pads today. So that is awesome. And we'll get into a little bit of camp, a little bit of some other stuff. But we have something else to talk about first, don't we? A few things, actually.
Mhm. Yeah.
And let me just get into this. First of all, if you're gonna be soft, I'm talking about your dad right now. Get off the podcast. I'm about to
Just
talk
log
about your dad. Your dad was on Facebook talking crazy. Okay? Listen, if you don't know, and I'm fine with you, right? I understand what is going to happen a majority of the time when talking about a team like Vanderbilt. I'm not totally mad about it, per se, from some people. So, like, when Desmond Howard wants to talk about Vanderbilt, I expect him to sound stupid because I expect that he knows nothing about Vanderbilt. He can name maybe a player or two. He might be able to tell you who our head coach is, and that's about it. And that's no hate on Desmond Howard. That's a lot of the media. And so, like, I can take it, right? But what I can't take is when your local Smith County dad is on Facebook talking about the Vanderbilt football stadium and how he thinks he knows what the hell is going on inside of Vanderbilt. And I am trying to find the post. Here it is.
Who was?
I'm not saying. Here's the direct post. Looks like Vanderbilt is finally doing the right thing and getting rid of all those empty seats. Now, there's a picture here of the, you're not going to be able to see it, of the stadium, what it looks like right now. And there's a tweet with it, which is from a Vanderbilt fan. We are supposed to be excited about the team we support playing here in 5.5 weeks, ? Is there going to be a scoreboard, ? A replay board, ? Like this was just so not thought out well. And first of all, he's stupid. They already have a plan for that. They've already talked about it. They talked about where the team's going to stay. He's just not listening. That's not my fault. He's stupid, right? Like I'm not. But just to say that the original tweet was like, I guess, clipped in with the picture of the stadium. So like he had taken this, I guess, from the context that it was of just some random dude's tweet, which means nothing. And you should know that before you post something stupid. And then here's the part that makes me mad. First comment. They need an athletic director that will focus on football, which is the largest sport in the NCAA and where the money is. They're too worried about being inclusive and far ever to be successful. Go Rebels. Okay? And fair
Racist.
to ever be
Okay.
successful. So said go Rebels. So I get on there. This is me talking, Joseph West. Person's name. Our AD actually does care about football. We are doing over a $300 million renovation project right now. It will be the best Vanderbilt has ever seen for sure. I didn't get that far into it. I didn't tell him all the details. I just said, hey, look, you really don't know what you're talking about politely. Either look into this or shut up. And he said, although I see your point, they had to renovate the stadium. It's only been 40 years. It's way past due. I'm not sure it's coming from passion for football other than the necessity to keep up to date. Okay? And while I would argue that's actually the exact same thing, because if you have a passion for football, you're going to want to have the best of the best. So I would argue that goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
But
And this surfaced like a few weeks ago. It kind of went around. And I mean, genuine concern. I mean, it's a valid concern to see that a month away from the season.
Sure, but we knew it was
Kind
coming
of.
if you were paying attention.
The joke is low hanging fruit. Was this a Tennessee fan?
This is a Tennessee fan, and then I guess an Ole Miss who used to be a Vanderbilt fan that I'm fixing to continue our conversation in just a second.
Okay, what's his name?
I'm not telling you anybody's name.
Do I know
You
who
can
it is?
get on You can get on Facebook and look at this. Not hard.
Public record.
And then if you want to say who it is, whatever. But I said that it was coming from a passion of football. Trust me, that I've put my life and soul into this football program. I felt like I knew where it was coming from. And then this dad posts back. I agree with you. This is all about keeping up with the Joneses. If they don't, they could be forced out of the SEC. And I said, LOL. No, they won't be. You are talking about the founder person's name. It's hard to beat you as a guy. I was talking to him. But this is just stupid. Vandy may leave by choice, but they will never be forced out. And that's just coming from... I apologize if that was loud. That's just coming from a place where he has no idea what he's talking about. But yet you're posting about it. And so my thing is going to be this. I'm going to say three things. One, before you just see something on the internet and think it's a great idea to repost it or retweet it or screenshot it and post it up to your profile, at least dig into it on one other site to see if it has any real meaning, right? Like a lot of people get fooled by like Richard G. West, who is a made-up guy out of Knoxville who just tweets the stupidest stuff. And people get fooled by him all the time. And they'll comment crazy stuff. They'll retweet it and say, what the hell is this? And I'm like, literally get off your phone for 1 second, close Twitter, get back on Google it. And if you don't see any articles about it, it's not true. Yeah. That's the first thing. Second thing is this. If you're not going to look into what Vanderbilt's team looks like and you're just going to have another lazy ass take, shut the hell up talking about Vanderbilt. You know nothing. You barely know about the Vols. You can barely spell your name. You're a redneck. I do not care. Either focus on the Vols, but do not talk about Vanderbilt. You can say I'm a hater of UT, and I'm a known hater, okay? But at least I take the time to dig in to Tennessee. And we're going to see that here in a little bit on this podcast because I've got some UT tips as well, okay? I've got some bits and pieces.
Okay, can I talk? You're just kind of scraping the surface of the bigger issue. That is, if you're on Facebook, if Facebook is your primary social media, there needs to be some sort of either give it up or you need to rethink where you're at, because my Facebook, it'll be like some old woman has tweeted or not tweeted, has posted it's just like a red picture and it's like my nephew, and it's just words. It's like my nephew died. It's like something crazy like that. That's completely random. I want to say that Instagram is the best social media, but I'm just on Twitter too much to think that. But it's the same thing on Twitter. I mean, there's so many just dumb people on Twitter too that don't seem to be able to see sarcasm. I think Twitter may be the king of the joke just went over somebody's head. Well, I guess it's called X now. It's not Twitter anymore. X. It's kind of
cool. I mean, I don't know. I'm fine. I mean, I don't really care. Like what Britt was saying about your social media, do whatever the heck you want to do. And if you're older, I get why you're on Facebook. But I mean, listen, don't talk about the Commodores. That's basically the name of this new segment is don't talk about the Commodores unless you know about the Commodores. That's all I got to say about that. I'm done on that rant. I had to get that off my chest, though. It's been bothering me since last week when I seen it.
Did you see the Michigan recruit that posted his food on a visit? I thought it was kind of stupid. I didn't really care. I thought it was stupid too. Because if you're in high school, okay, go ahead.
No, that's my only take. Nobody cares.
Well, if you're in high school, a hot dog and chicken strips and macaroni, I would have smashed that plate.
100. Any 17-year-old would.
Yeah, I mean, it was probably like just in the film room, just a quick lunch or something. I mean, they probably went out to dinner.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, like, I didn't really get it. I thought that was really blown out of proportion. I was like, okay. Now, if I was like an Ohio State fan, or like if Tennessee did that, and obviously I'm a Vanderbilt fan, I would be like, oh, poverty school, like showing poverty lunches. Yeah, I would say something dumb like that, but not that it would have any merit behind it.
yeah, I mean, Tennessee put on a show for Walter Nolan and the boys. I mean, they took him to Storm and Crab, and they gave him $300 to buy weed and all kinds of stuff. I mean, they just put the full court press on people. So
What a program here.
yeah, that's pretty cool. Did you see the new Tyler Childers song?
I did see that. I have not listened to it though. I seen it today.
You need to listen to it.
Okay, got it. I can't do that.
Tyler Childers can write a love song as good as anybody. Of course, there is controversy attached to it, which we already knew that Tyler Childers was a liberal. Do you not know what I'm talking about?
No, I have no idea what you're talking about.
So it's a love song. It's called "In Your Love," and the music video is two homosexual coal miners. So they're Kentucky fans. And so people are mad about that. They're trying to. It's the Bud Light. The same Bud Light people are trying to cancel Tyler Childers. But
that's the weirdest thing I've ever heard of. Actually.
Yeah, but also
not because of you're gay, but because you're gay coal miners, which I would find if I thought where's the job I find the least amount of gay people, it would be coal miners.
Well, it's the University of Kentucky. That's their fan base. They're gay coal miners.
Debatable.
But it's this genre of music. It's like Tyler Childers, Sturgill Simpson, Zach Bryan. They're all liberals. It just makes people so mad. They're just all big liberals.
I don't really care if your music good's your music's good. I've always said that.
Just how it is. We gotta separate the art from the artist. That's what we've done with Morgan Wallen. Yeah, he said the N-word. He put out a double album and another new album. Bops. If you make good music, we can make an exception.
Not on everything, but yeah, I get what you're saying, I guess.
Yeah, not with like R. Kelly.
I'm not going to comment on what he just said. I'm just going to let that one slide.
Yeah, if you're R. Kelly, yeah, I'm sorry. Are you familiar with Buck Rising?
Yeah, I know Buck Rising.
I have beef with Buck Rising.
Okay.
Do you find his voice to be annoying? I find his voice to be very manufactured. It's a very manufactured radio voice, and I've been working on my impression.
They all sound like that. I think he sounds like if I turn it on any other sports radio show, that's exactly what they sound like. They all sound the exact same to me.
I've been working on my impression. You want to hear it?
Even if I don't.
It's always about Ryan Tannehill or Malik Willis or Will Levis or Traylon Burks, but he's like this. Buck Rising. Well, if you look at and he has this full range of, it's the deepest voice you've ever heard and the whiniest voice. He's like, Buck Rising. If you look at the Titans, Ryan Tannehill, Malik Willis, Ryan Tannehill. It's just, I'm like, I can't listen to it. And I truly think that he's obviously plugged in and he knows what he's talking about, but I can't listen to him.
Yeah.
This isn't 1940s talk radio. Like, just speak in your voice.
104.5 has always just been broken, and I wouldn't listen to it anyways. I do when I want to get mad, though. That's besides the point. Well, listen, let's just get into the juicy stuff. Let's get into the good stuff. We can't deprive the people. We should not deprive the people.
We shouldn't. We could, though.
We could, but we shouldn't. Okay? Here's what it is. SEC rankings and depth charts coming your way right now.
We're doing depth chart for every team in the SEC.
That's crazy. We're doing them for our teams. I've got a Vanderbilt one. I've got a Tidbits on UT, and I have all the teams ranked. Where are we starting? You want to start ranking the teams, or you want to go depth charts?
Yeah, let's rank. Let's do the SEC West first.
Okay, let's do the West. I got you. I am ready. I'll go ahead. You want to name a few and then let the other person go, or you just want to go?
Yeah.
Go all the way through.
Do your 7654, and then I'll
Okay.
do my 7654.
Okay, got it. Number 7, Auburn. Okay, Auburn. We've kind of been over this. They have the worst quarterback. They have a first-year head coach. Listen, in case you didn't know, when young first-year quarterbacks are in the SEC, normally they're not very good. Normally, right? If you look at the 70-ish percent, they're not good. Now, they may be good after that, but they're not that good. That's a problem. First-year head coach is a problem. A guy that was going to not play at all for Vanderbilt transferred to Auburn named Elijah McAllister and is going to start on their defensive line. That tells me their defensive line sucks. He was not even going to be the 2 deep at Vandy. He's going to start at Auburn, from what I've heard.
Good for him.
Sorry, I had to cough. Thank you. Yeah, Auburn's the worst team. Okay, that's just how it is. Mississippi State, number 6. Mississippi State trash. I think I have them at. By the way, I had Auburn at 5-7, 1-7 in the conference. I have Mississippi State next. I have them at 6-6, 2-6 in the conference. I don't see Mississippi State being that good. First year head coach. They do surprisingly have a really good quarterback in Will Rogers, who normally I think that when they have a quarterback this experienced in the conference, I would rank them higher. But you lost your best offensive weapon, Ra Thomas, and that sucks, and that's going to sting. I think they struggle to find an identity this year on offense, and maybe that's not even the right way to say it, but I don't think Mississippi State's that good. 6-6. At number 5, I've got Texas A&M. Texas A&M goes 7-5, 3-5 in the conference. I think that they could win 2 or 3 more games in this. I think they could go up to 9-3 when I was looking at their schedule. I thought the West was kind of hard to rank right here, the 3 through 5. I really didn't enjoy. But Texas A&M at 5th, I think they're going to be better than they were last year. They're going to be pretty mid, though. So I thought 5th was a great spot. In 4th, I've got Arkansas. I got them finishing the year 8-4. I think Sam Pittman's actually a pretty good coach. KJ Jefferson seems like he's the real deal. They'll have several things going for them. And I could even see them maybe even getting the 9th win. I flipped back and forth on a few of their games. So got them at 8-4, 4-4 in the conference. The exact same thing for Ole Miss, 8-4, 4-4 in the 4-4 in the conference. They won their head-to-head matchup though, which is why they're in 3rd. And I wasn't supposed to say that team, so I apologize, Britt. You're gonna have to go to 3.
Thank you for stepping on my number there.
But for the record, to finish the Ole Miss, since I already said it, Britt, just go to 3. They're 8-4. No matter who their quarterback is, I think you're going to be able to be scared of their offense, and I think their defense will at least be some improved, which will be enough bringing back either Jackson Dart or having a more capable quarterback stepping in. So there's the 7 through 3 in the West.
All right, football. Okay. The SEC West at dead last, I have Mississippi State winless in the conference, 4-8 overall. Mississippi State's athletic director right now is looking for their new head coach. Like this, they were put in a bad situation. The Pirate got shipwrecked. He's dead. So they're looking for a new coach. This Arnett guy is just not it. Maybe he proves me wrong. I got them at last. Number 6, I have Arkansas, and I've got the West doing a little bit better, just more balanced, I guess. But I've got Arkansas going 7-5 with 3 wins in the conference. There's a reason Sam Pittman was an offensive line coach his whole career. Number 5, I've got Ole Miss. I have the SEC West as being a very top. The top 3 of the West are going to be very good this year. and I feel confident this is 100% correct. Ole Miss going 7-5, 4 Texas A&M 7-5. Jimbo's a bust. For them to have invested so much in Jimbo Fisher and in recruiting, he's a bust. They go 7-5. Number 3, even though we weren't supposed to go there, Auburn. Hugh Freeze is going 9-3.
Listen,
Freeze going 9-3, and this is why. Hugh Freeze is not going to lose to Zach Arnett, Lane Kiffin, Sam Pittman, and Jimbo with this Weigman guy or whatever. This almost said something inappropriate. This guy Weigman, the quarterback. No, Hugh Freeze going 9-3.
Well, I mean, personally, if I'm playing Auburn to get Hugh Freeze distracted, I'm just going to bring an underage woman out on the field with me, preferably like 14 to 15.
We never said.
And
he
bring
never
him out
did anything with an
field.
underage woman.
And then that's how I'm going to get Hugh Freeze.
That's a pretty egregious allegation.
Hugh Freeze, bro. I'm not scared of this dude. He's a first-year head coach. He's got the worst quarterback in the SEC.
A first-year head coach?
To put this dude, yes, back in the SEC. This ain't the same SEC he left. People have to remember the SEC is much better now than it was when he left. This is a totally different game. This dude doesn't know how to coach. This is a bad hire by Auburn.
Okay,
I'm saying it right now.
You're talking out your ass. Saying that Hugh Freeze is not a good coach or a good hire is pretty wild.
Thought it was a mid hire.
I thought he was the best guy.
Had a big hire.
He was the best guy available.
Anybody should be available when you're Auburn. You have the biggest boosters in the SEC. How could you not be? By the numbers, they have the biggest, they have the deepest pockets. Their top boosters have the deepest pockets, which is crazy.
Okay, who's your 2 and 1?
Well, 2 is Bama. Feel like I've pretty much seen that coming. Bama goes 11-1, 7-1 in the conference. And then obviously that only leaves LSU. They're 11-1 too, 7-1 in the conference, but they win the head-to-head. So LSU at 1. I see the West taking a step back, mostly because the East has gotten better. I could see Ole Miss losing to several of the teams in the East, like I put. Obviously, I had Auburn losing to Vandy. Mississippi State, I think, lost both of their East games. I want to say, if I remember correctly. That's where it's at. That's what I got.
Okay, number 2, I've got LSU going 10-2, losing to Alabama and Florida State. And number 1, I've got Alabama going 12-0.
They're not going 12-0.
They've got the best team. They have the best team in the West.
They don't have a quarterback. That's such a problem.
3 5-stars to choose from.
I'm not gonna lie. One of the two of us are going to be pretty close because of our list are very different. But if Auburn is the 3rd best team in the West, I don't know what I'm going to do, but we're fixing to come up with something right now because I am so sure that Auburn will be a bottom 2 team in the West. I would put my bank account on it.
Okay, this is a perfect opportunity.
To put top 3 was crazy.
This is a perfect opportunity for a podcast idea. Okay, I'm going to introduce it to you right now. It's called The Board. It's called The Board Bets. This is a board bet. We'll put it on the board if you're willing to. And at the end of the year, whoever has the most board bet wins the board.
Put it on the board bet. Auburn will not be a top 3 team in the SEC. I'll even give you top 4. I'll take bottom 3. So I'm saying they're going to be the 5th, 6th, or 7th team in the West. They will not be above that.
Okay. It's on the board.
Okay, it's on the board. And can I get one more? Can I get another board bet?
I mean, I have to be against it.
You're gonna be. Alabama's not going undefeated. They don't have a quarterback.
They do have a quarterback.
Do you want to make it a board bet? Are you that confident they're going to go 12-0?
I mean, the odds are so much better for you that they don't go undefeated.
They're 100% better for me.
Well, okay, so if they do go 12-0, I get 3 points. If they don't,
3 board points.
Yeah, if they don't, you get 1.
How about 2? Let's go 2-1.
No.
No? Okay, no deal then. No board bet. All right, I like that though. Sure. I like the board bets though. All right, moving over to the East. Sorry, I had to get heated right there. I didn't like all the respect Auburn was getting.
You best to really get heated then.
7th place in the East. I got Kentucky. I got Kentucky. If you would have listened to this podcast last year, go back and listen to the way I talk about Mark Stoops. Listen to the
You
way I
wrote it.
talk about Kentucky. Listen to where I rank Kentucky in the East. It was third. I've lost all confidence. I had faith in them last year. They threw it away. The coaching staff was lackluster. The offensive line, what it wasn't normally is. That I think that's why they're seventh. Fifth, I've got Florida.
What about sixth?
I'm sorry, I meant sixth. Sixth, I have
Okay.
Florida. By the way, I had Kentucky at 5-7. 1-7 in the conference. Florida, I have a 6-6, 2-6 in the conference. Yeah, I mean, that's just how it is. Florida, I don't think they're going to be that solid either.
Who do you think Kentucky beats? Missouri?
To be honest, I don't know where I put what win I gave them.
I know it's hard to. It may have been Mississippi State. I think they might have played them.
Yes, I think now that you said that, it might be Mississippi State. Let me just look over their schedule real quick. I'll tell you who it is.
But yeah, the country is
Mississippi
waking up
State.
that Kentucky is not good.
Mississippi State is who I gave them their one to.
Okay.
In sixth, I had Florida. Florida 6-6, 2-6 on the season. And then the next spot I had Vanderbilt at 6-6 as well, 2-6 in the conference. So there are my fifth team. My fourth team is South Carolina. So I had 2 6-6s and then a 5-7. Here's where the East is much better. South Carolina in fourth place is 9-3, 5-3 in the conference. And I have to stop there, but just to let that be known, I have South Carolina at 9-3, in the conference, and they're in fourth place. Yes.
Okay. I have Florida at last. I kind of mentioned that a few weeks ago. I think Florida will win one game in conference and lose an out of conference against Florida State, who is supposed to be pretty good this year. I think they beat Kentucky. That will be their only conference win. At number 6, I have Vanderbilt, going 5-7. I don't remember who I think their one win was Florida. Actually, it was. I haven't beaten Florida. 5 is Missouri.
Losing to Kentucky, Missouri. Oh, you thought Auburn was going to be good though. Okay.
I don't want to hear the slander.
There's no slander. There's no. I forgot. I'm sorry.
Missouri's at 5th, 5-7. Missouri is the most boring team in the conference, other than Mississippi State and Arkansas. Number 4, I have the Kentucky Wildcats at 7-5, 3-5 in conference. Go ahead.
It's very nice of you to put Kentucky that high.
7 wins.
At number 3, I have Tennessee. Tennessee goes 9-3 on the year, 5-3 in the conference. Tennessee has a solid year. They lose 3 games. I guess that's just kind of how it is. Number 2, I've got Missouri. Ms. Zoo, as they like to chant, give them to me. They're 9-3, also 5-3 in the conference.
So terrible.
They win the head-to-head against Tennessee, which is why they're in second. And they are obviously UT's third loss. If you wonder who the other 2 are, it's Georgia and Bama. And then first in the SEC is Georgia, 12-0, 8-0 in the conference. And I really didn't want to make them undefeated, but I just don't know who they lose to. And so it's that bad with Georgia at 1. But Missouri, I will say this about them because I messed with their schedule like 4 different times. And like one time, the second time I went through it, I had them at 7-5. And I really didn't like some of the games that I picked. And I went back. They were at 9-3. I left them there. I think 9-3 makes sense for this Missouri team. I mean, I went over all the defensive production for Missouri. I went over all the offensive production for Missouri. I mean, they're returning too much to not improve. And their defense was great last year. At times, it showed greatness.
It was really good in Knoxville.
It will be elite this year. It
was really good in Knoxville when we hang 60 points on that ass for like the 10th year in a row.
They took a lot of their starters out in the fourth, so the 14-point fourth quarter was I would beg to differ. But yeah, the same. I already have $100 on this, but I bet $100 yesterday. UT will not score 50 points on Missouri. They won't do it. Missouri's defense will be too good this year for them to hang
Tennessee
50.
is more likely to score 50 points twice in that game than they are to not score 50.
We'll see. My pockets are
and you
richer
having
or
Missouri
poorer.
at 3 is two different things. As I hold up the number 3, it's two different things. It's one way more egregious than thinking that Auburn will be in the top 3.
Wait. I had Missouri at 2. I didn't have them at the 3. I had them at the 2.
I said in the top 3.
Oh, okay. Got it.
And 2, you've been listening to who I think is the stupidest person in sports media, SEC Mike and whatever that fat guy's cousin Shane. You've been listening to those two momos talk about Missouri.
I haven't listened to them at all, no, but if you're paying attention, you know that Missouri's recruiting class was good back-to-back years, and you also know how good their defense was last year. I mean, outside of 2 games where their defense really didn't show up, and fault them where you may against UT, they missed some tackles, don't get me wrong. It wasn't complete, just guys wide open by UT, but UT's offense also did that to everybody. I mean, Missouri had their starters out in the fourth quarter, so minus in the 14 points, they give up less than Bama. I mean, Bama goes try hard the whole game because they're in the game. Missouri wasn't in the game. Why risk injury? Not get into that. But that game, and then I want to say the Kentucky game, their defense really let them down. I thought they really played bad. The other 5 Missouri games I watched, their defense was really good. I just think it takes a huge step forward when you can return.
You keep talking about defense. Defense is so far behind offense in terms of importance in college football right now.
Maybe.
Like Tennessee was like, we're not even going to play defense. We're just going to come out and just beat your eyes shut and not even care about defense.
Yeah. But how long does it last, though? It doesn't last forever.
It could.
No, it can't. Football over time shows dominating systems for really up to 4 years, and then it perishes. Well, someone figures it out.
And what we're doing is, what Tennessee is doing is, we're just gonna be really awesome at offense, and then we're gonna recruit the best defensive players in the country, and then it's gonna be good too, just because we have the money to do that.
Yeah, but it can never be that good. The defense never can be. I don't care if you have every 5-star in the country; it won't be that good because everybody else get tired, and there's no way you can run them that much that whole game.
So you're saying if Tennessee had Georgia's roster, they still wouldn't be good?
I'm telling you, they would need their whole roster. Like, they would need every depth player they got, because your team is going to be tired when UT's offense is only on the field 18 minutes and scored 50. Your defense is going to be tired. I mean, they're just human. That's just, and I mean, UT's defense wasn't like garbage, and maybe saying they could get every 5-star in the world and still suck, that's probably egregious, but they could have the talent they've gotten on defense. They've had some nice pickups in the last 2 years. They had a couple 4-stars. They have, I think they brought in 5 corner pieces this past year in the 2023 class. They brought in 5 secondary guys that are, I think two of them for sure were 4-stars that I remember. So you have young, talented guys. I'm just saying they will not be able to make it in the offense. That's the way I should have put it, Britt. I apologize. Straightforward now.
Good job. Number 3, I have South Carolina going 9-3. I had them losing to Georgia, Tennessee, and Clemson. We're good. We're good. I have Tennessee going 10-2, losing to Georgia and Alabama. And I have Georgia going 12-0. I want to say, and I'm curious what you're going to say. I want to say the only team. What's that face?
No, I'm shaking my head for a very certain reason. Keep going.
Okay, I'm running through my head who could beat Georgia. And immediately Ohio State. Ohio State could have beat them last year.
Should have, being honest.
With the performance C.J. Stroud had. I saw on Twitter, it was a video of his highlights from that game. I think it was every snap that he threw the ball in that game. That man was insane.
He was unbelievable.
But who else? Who else can beat Georgia? And you're going to say Michigan.
You know who I think. I was going to say, I don't have to say who I think. I think you know. I think most of the listeners know at this point. I'm going to be a Michigan believer. I mean, Michigan brings back their whole entire offensive line, the best running back in Blake Corum in the country, and JJ, who didn't look great in the TCU game. I mean, threw 2 pick sixes, but also, I mean, dude, he's a gunslinger and he was young. So, like, how do you really blame him? And that's where I'm just like, he never stopped trying to win the game. And I don't know if you can fault him for that. As a young kid.
If J.J. McCarthy doesn't throw those 2 pick sixes and Michigan wins that game, I would have loved to seen that.
If they would have matched up, I agree. I would have loved to see that too.
But we will not get to see that.
We do not. Also, this is what I was going to say. So I was going to say, for the record, my record prediction is not coming tonight or anything on UT schedule. But I do think the ceiling for Tennessee is 10-2. I think that is the ceiling. I don't think they win more than that. That's just my opinion. But I was going to say though is that Britt put UT at their ceiling once again, in my opinion, not his. And I did not put Vanderbilt to their ceiling in my prediction of the SEC power rankings because I got drugged last year for doing really bad. Me and Britt both got 1 right out of 14 last year. We both only got 1 team in the correct spot. So with what it is, I was trying to be very by the book, what I thought the most realistic options that would come out, I guess.
And the one that we got was the easiest one.
Yes, Georgia. That was it. That was all I got. No,
you never know. I mean, you never know. Florida could come out and win 8 games, and I've got them picked last. But just because they're Florida, they could come out and be good.
Yeah,
they've got a child pornography enthusiast on their team. I don't know what that has to do. I don't know what that has to do with anything. Let's see.
But listen. And also, anything I've said about Hugh Freeze is negated as of right now, as of this moment. And with that being, and just because, what if I get sued? I didn't mean any of it. It was alligated. Anyways,
it wasn't alligated though.
Just shut up. It was. We're going to the depth chart. Nothing matters except for this depth chart breakdown we're about to do. Okay. Yeah. Britt, let's go back and forth, right? So what positions do we want to start with? Quarterback, running backs? Is that fair?
Long snapper. Okay, let's do quarterback.
Long snapper.
Let's do quarterback.
Okay, let's do it. I think everybody knows who the starters are. Okay, me and Britt are not going to go in depth about the guy you already know about. But Vanderbilt's starting quarterback, AJ Swan, will look to improve a lot in year 2. Got some new work this year, worked with Joe Burrow's trainer about his landing spot because Joe Burrow struggled with it. And so he trained with him. They're saying he looks really good in fall camp right now. He's looking a lot better. Him and Shepard have a dynamic duo. So looking forward to seeing Swan in year 2 and hopefully a full year of no injuries. At QB2, the most experienced the most experienced backup quarterback in the nation, Ken Seals. I mean, dude's been here 4 years. He started as a freshman, played 3 games his sophomore year. I mean, this dude he's been in your system for so long, and he started a lot of games for you. I don't know if anybody else would have pure confidence in their backup like I would if Ken Seals had to come in. If you gave me 1 series with Ken Seals, I would feel at least okay about it. So him at 2, and then my QB3, who I think also might see some playing time, is if we get big in like a blowout or maybe getting blown out, is Walter Taylor. He's freshman, big dude, a lot of potential. I talked about him on here, Joe Milton-esque. So there's our top 3 QBs.
AJ Swan looked kind of chubby to you?
I think he has gotten bigger, yeah, which is I think a good thing, by the way.
Okay. At quarterback for Tennessee, the University of Tennessee, is Joe Milton. Obviously, this is the easiest one. His backup is going to be Nicholas Iamaleava.
Indeed.
Very excited to see Nico in some garbage time. Nico's not going to. I would be very shocked if Nico redshirts this year.
Really?
Nico's going to be the plan for Nico is for him to play as much as he can this year in garbage time or after injury, God forbid, who knows what happens. To start next year and to get drafted the year after that. That is the ideal trajectory for Nico. And then your third string is Gaston Moore, guy that has been around for a while. Not really much to say about him.
Okay. I like that. We going running backs?
Let's do it.
Okay. So RB1 for the Commodores, I think, will end up being Cedric Alexander. I call him Sid. Mr. Sid is a true freshman. He's got some burst. I think he might be the best running back in the room, and I think he'll end up taking the job before fall camp is over. At RB2, you've got Patrick Smith, a guy who's been there, a guy who's shown flashes, a guy that's shown he could be a beast, or maybe he's not good at all. I don't really know, but I still really like him, so I've got Patrick Smith at the 2. RB3 is going to be sophomore Chase Gillespie. He filled in last year when we needed him, when running back was really, really terribly low because everybody transferred, and then all we had was Ray Davis and Gillespie pretty much. So Gillespie filled in well until he got injured. But he's just got 2 more talented guys in front of him. Kind of sucks for him, but he'll be the 3, and we might see him this year too. I would think so.
For Tennessee, Tennessee looks pretty good in the running back room. Have quite a bit of experience. Your starter is going to be Jabari Small. I guess this will be his 3rd year as the number 1 running back. Behind him, Jalen Wright. He's a junior. This will be his 3rd year playing. I mean, he had a lot of snaps his freshman and sophomore year. After that, Dylan Sampson, Cam Seldon, one of those guys will get in. But Tennessee's running back room it's very balanced. There's not really there's not much of a drop off, I guess.
Right.
But yeah, I like Tennessee at running back.
I like that. Going to Vanderbilt's best position, you've got wide receiver. At wide receiver, we've got our outside wide receiver number 1 is Will Sheppard. Will Sheppard is a dog. I'm hearing he's unguardable in fall camp. This dude has just been working all year. I can't wait to see how high Will Sheppard goes in this draft. I think he's the best wide receiver we've had since Jordan Matthews. So excited to watch him play. So can't wait. His backup is Gamarion Carter. Gamarion Carter is a junior. He's had some time at Vanderbilt. He has really nice speed. He's got a big frame. So I really like Gamarion Carter. And if we have to see him this year step in for Sheppard at some point, I could really like it. What'd you say, Brett? I'm sorry.
Great name. Gamarion.
Yes, agreed. At the outside wide receiver 2 position, we've got Quincy Skinner Jr. He had some solid catches last year. Had a catch on 4th down against Kentucky. That was huge down the sideline. He really showed a lot of flashes that he could be a great number 2 behind Will Sheppard. I think he takes a big step forward this year and has a really good year. I think people will know who he is at this time next year. They'll be talking about Quincy Skinner as far as like a weapon for this Vanderbilt team. And then his backup is Davion Walker. He is a redshirt freshman, and so is well, never mind. I haven't even got there yet. I try to get ahead of myself. So Davion Walker is redshirt freshman. He kind of got in some trouble last year, and he never really got off the ground after that. They're saying he's really focused this year, and that he's just looking a lot better. He's more physical. He's apparently really stepping up. So having him there is huge. And then slot wide receivers, Jade McGowan started last year. He'll be a sophomore this year. His backup will be Junior Sherrill. He's a freshman from Lipscomb Academy. Dude can absolutely fly. So can McGowan. So good for both of them. But looking at Vanderbilt's team, I mean, the biggest thing is that, like, for me, just going through real quick, Britt, sorry. AJ Swan, sophomore. Cedric Alexander, freshman. His backup, Patrick Smith, junior, sorry. Will Shepard, he'll be gone after this year. He's going to go to the draft. But then you've got Gurion Carter comes back. Skinner comes back. Davion Walker comes back. McGowan and Sherrill come back. And so, like, when I start looking at the team like that, and these are guys who I think are already SEC caliber players, and I get them for 2 and 3 more years. And I haven't always been able to say that. So I think when I look at this team, I see not only how good I think this team can be, but hope for the future with this depth chart.
Okay. For Tennessee at wide receiver, last year, a trend you saw with Tennessee was you didn't see a lot of substitution for your wide receivers. I mean, last year you saw 5 guys. You saw Jalen Hyatt, Ramel Keaton. You're echoing.
My bad. I'm sorry.
You saw. Okay, there's no echo. You saw Jalen Hyatt, Ramel Keaton, Brew McCoy, Big Cedric Tillman. Who else? Who am I forgetting? Squirrel White, Aquarius. But those are really the 5 guys that you saw. I mean, outside of garbage time, you only saw those 5 guys. So I just kind of highlighted 5 guys for this year. Obviously, there's only 3 positions at wide receiver, but you're going to see Brew McCoy. He's going to be starting for you. I would say Squirrel White is going to be starting there for you in the Jalen Hyatt role, kind of a slot receiver. And then you're going to see Dante Thornton Jr. transfer from Oregon. It's going to be hard for him. It's going to be hard for the next guy, Ramel Keaton, to not get just a ton of playing time. Just what he showed us last year. He was just a great receiver. So you got McCoy, Keaton, White, Thornton. Who's my other guy? I guess those are your main guys. How embarrassing. You've got a lot of young talent. You got Chaz Nimrod, Caleb Webb, Nathan Leacock, Nate Spillman, all freshman receivers that could jump in there at any time. But I guess those four are going to be the main ones you see.
Yeah, and for the record, Vanderbilt also didn't sub a lot at wide receiver last year. We only had like 6 wide receivers catch passes for us. So, I mean, that was literally all the wide receivers you had catch passes for us. So, I get that. Going to the O-line, at left tackle for Vanderbilt, you're going to have Mr. Gunnar Hansen. Gunnar really was a dog last year. He was one of Vanderbilt's better left tackles ever. And I think having him back this year and maybe even next year could be huge for us. And, he's our best O-lineman. He's our best O-lineman. That's just what it comes down to, which is a great spot to have your best O-lineman at left tackle. At left guard, we've got Mr. Castillo. Xavier Castillo. He's been another great lineman. I think our best 2 linemen are on the left side. I think our left side of the offensive line is going to be strong. And yeah, I mean, I really like those 2 pieces. And I mean, one of the 2 can come back next year, talking about the future. At center, you have a 6-year guy, Julian Hernandez. He started for you last year. He knows the position well. I mean, he's not been great at run blocking. Matter of fact, he's been below average. But just having a guy there that knows the system, knows what he's doing, knows how to win games late from last year. So, I mean, you can't be mad at him. His backup, the only reason I mention him is because I think he does see time at center this year, is Grayson Morgan from NBA. He's a redshirt freshman this year, and I think he's going to be stepping in to get some playing time there. At right guard, we've got Bradley Ashmore. Once again, another guy who is just huge. He's a dog. We have a really big offensive line this year. He got that dog in him. Really like Ashmore. Think he's a great player. At right tackle, we have Junior. I don't really know how to say his last name. It's Uzebu. I don't even want to try to butcher it. So I'm just going to say that. Maybe so. So he is starting. I think his job may get taken by Leighton Nelson. He originally was a left tackle, but he's been playing some at right, I've heard. So I think if he does get some snaps at right throughout fall camp, I think he might get his job taken from a redshirt freshman. So, this offensive line, I think, has the pieces to be good. They're not going to see as much help this year. They got a lot of help from tight ends last year, and we don't have the tight ends to run those sets anymore. That will not happen. So we'll see when they're isolated, if they can hold up their blocks.
So, did you include your tight end? I'm sorry, I wasn't listening.
I did not include my tight ends.
Okay, left tackle for Tennessee is going to be John Campbell Jr., a redshirt senior. He transferred over from the University of Miami. Big old fat guy, left tackle. His backup is Jeremiah Crawford, a guy that you saw a lot last year, the guy that threw up against Alabama and then just nodded his head at the guy. Jeremiah Crawford, he's a good player. Started a few games for us last year. At left guard, this is where you're going to kind of miss some of the guys you lost last year, because you had Jerome Carvin, who was just a brick wall there. But starting this year, Ollie Lane, a senior, he's been around a while, another big fat guy. His backup is Jackson Lampley, another guy that you've seen. Both of those guys are seniors, redshirt seniors. Your center is one of the positions on the line that you are most comfortable with. You got Cooper Mays coming back, Addison Nichols backing him up. Hopefully, Nichols can soak in all the knowledge he can from Cooper, because center is arguably one of the most important positions on the line.
Agreed.
Just when you lose your guy, like we lost Cooper Mays his sophomore year for a while, it just really throws things off. At right guard, another guy you are very comfortable with, Javonte Spraggins. He's a senior. He's a road grader. The guy that you just have a ton of tape on. He's consistent. He's just a great player. And a redshirt junior transfer from the University of Texas, Karich Andrej, a big fat guy.
Okay.
That plays on the offensive line. At right tackle, he transferred in last year from the University of Florida, Gerald Mincy. Started a few games for us early in the year when we were trying to get established. Gerald Mincy's a good player. He's a redshirt junior. And backing him up is, I believe, a Knoxville native redshirt senior, Dane Davis, a guy that's just been around the program for a while. So, of your starting line, you've got redshirt senior, senior, redshirt junior. And then all their backups are, you have 3 of your 5 backup offensive linemen are also juniors or seniors. So a lot of experience, just not looking into next year. It's good for this year to have experience on the offensive line.
True. At tight end, last position at offense here, we've got Justin Ball as a starter. Initially, he was not going to be. It was going to be, I can't remember if he got redshirted last year. Redshirt freshman, I think, Cole Spence. He has been said as the most talented tight end Vanderbilt's had, which is saying something. I mean, we did have Jared Pinkney, and he was a beast, but that was a whole mess. But anyways, Justin Ball's the starter. It doesn't matter. He's 6'7", 250. He's got a big frame. I think he could be a huge piece. And then behind him, you're going to have a true freshman, Cameron Johnson, backing him up. I mean, it's your only, it's kind of your only option because your starter got hurt. You're going to be short on tight end. But, I mean, hey, look, Ball has a big body. He's been there for a long time. Injuries have held him back. He was a decent recruit, and I think, you just got to hope he's ready. And I think the tight end position will be fine. A lot of Vanderbilt fans are sweating it. I'm not. I think we'll be okay.
Okay, at tight end, the redshirt senior from Knoxville, Tennessee, Jacob Warren, guy that we have seen a lot of. His backup is going to be McAllen Castles, a transfer in. I can't remember where he transferred in from.
That's okay.
That's slipping on me, but he's a big guy, redshirt senior. And then his backup is going to be the true freshman, Ethan Davis, one of the highest ranked guys in our class, in the 23 class. So excited to see him. I don't think he broke his collarbone in the orange and white game, so I doubt we'll see Ethan Davis. It may be a redshirt year for Mr. Davis.
Yeah. Flipping to the defense, we've got. You want to start in secondary? Safety.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
Okay, perfect. Safety. At the boundary safety for Vanderbilt, you're going to have DeRicky Wright. He's finally going to play the same position for 2 years in a row. That must be nice for him. He said he's learned a lot last year from watching film and all the bad angles he took. You saw like 6 of them in the UT game alone, and then like 5 more against Ole Miss. So if he cleans that up, that was honestly his biggest problem, was just being either over aggressive or not aggressive enough, and so on and so forth. So yeah, fix that. I think you'll be fine with the boundary safety with Durecki. His backup, I think, will be Marlon Sewell. This was kind of a hard take for me because they move a lot of those guys in the secondary around a lot. So he may not even see the field, but I think his backup's going to be Marlon Sewell from what I'm seeing and hearing. Field safety is Jalen Mahoney. This guy kind of flies around the whole field. Jalen Mahoney's a beast. I think he will get drafted next year. I think he's a really good piece to have on your team. He's kind of like a Swiss Army knife. You can put him just about anywhere, and he's going to impact the game. His backup will be I'm about to die. His backup will be Savion Riley. Once again, it's hard for me to predict that one, but I like Riley being behind Mahoney here.
All right. Strong safety for Tennessee, Wesley Walker. It's a guy we saw last year make some good plays from the star position, but he is a safety at heart. I think they're going to be able to have him there just being more established in other places in the secondary. This is a secondary with a ton of experience. And you can say, okay, well, they suck. You can say that, and I do say that. Or you can say, hey, they have a lot of experience. Maybe they can improve. That's what I'm going to go with. But Wesley Walker is going to be your starter there, presumably. That is my prediction. His backup, John Slaughter, Christian Charles plays some safety. Who knows? Jack Luttrell's a freshman, but he's a TikTok boy. So I don't know if he will be able to actually play football. But that's a strong safety position. At free safety, I can't believe it. You're not going to believe it that this man is not 30 years old. But Tank McCullough is your starting free safety.
That's crazy.
I think he almost killed a guy at his apartment. He pushed him down the stairs. Tank McCullough, he's a senior. Thank God. Maybe he'll be gone after this year. He's going to be your starter there. And I'm pretty sure he started I'm pretty sure this is his 4th year starting.
Okay.
His backup, a sophomore transfer from Ohio State. I believe he played at Innsworth High School. Andre Turntine. Didn't see much of him last year. What you did see of him, it was kind of sketchy. But hopefully he can improve, and we'll see him on the field. And third string, it's the same guys, John Slaughter, Jack Luttrell, whoever you can get in there.
Yeah. Also remember, just because I don't know how many people actually know this, we're talking about 2 very different defenses here. Like, you're going to, especially like now in a second, you're going to hear me start talking about some positions. You don't know what they are.
Yeah,
So,
same here.
yeah, we're talking about 2 very different defenses. UT runs like a zone concept, I guess you could say. That's the best way to put it, without trying to get too confusing. And then Vanderbilt runs a 4-2-5. So that's just how it is. I mean, which I'll kind of go over it in a second with some of the players, but I just wanted to say that as well. Was that I'm talking about like a boundary safety and a field safety, and he was talking about a strong safety and a free safety. And they are, although they kind of do the same things, they are a little different. So, continue, Brett.
I'm done.
My turn? Okay, good. So let's see where are we going next. To corner. So the boundary corner, for Vanderbilt is going to be Trudell Berry, I believe. He is going to be a redshirt freshman. Once again, a guy who got in some trouble a little bit last year. Got suspended 4 games. And
It's another good name.
Trudell Berry, yeah, you like that? You're going to like his backup even better. Anyways, Trudell, redshirt freshman. I think he's going to be good. I think he's the most talented guy, and so I think you have to start him. Trudell wins the job. His backup is probably going to be B.J. Anderson, who's a 6th-year guy, although I hope it's not. I hope it's this guy. I hope it's Quantavious Gumbo Gaskins.
You said B.J. and her son?
B.J. Anderson.
Okay. Just
Spot number 3 is Quantavious Gumbo Gaskins. Gumbo is a dog, and I really like him. He's a long-time project, but is like what they said when we recruited him. He was going to be a 2-year project, so I don't know if he's quite ready this year. But if he is, I'd like to see him get some time. And then the field corner is going to be a true freshman, Martell Height. I think will end up still in the job before camp's over, and you're going to see the young guys, the freshmen, holding it down in Vanderbilt secondary, whether it's good or it's bad. They're the most talented. They're the fastest. Let them go.
good job.
Thank you.
I'm going to read it like Neyland Stadium's announcer. Starting at corner, Kamal Haddon. Boo! This guy sucks! Boo! Backing up Kamal Clown Momo Haddon, Gabe Judy Lally,
God,
a
he
name
sucks.
that you know well. If they brought him in, I assume they want him to play. If not, the guy that I have behind him is Brandon Turnage, a transfer from Alabama who has been good. We have seen good things from him and very bad things from him, but he's shown flashes. So that's one cornerback position. At the other side, and this going back, those guys are all seniors. Turnage, Haddon, Judy Lally, those are all seniors, redshirt seniors. The other side, starting Danico Slaughter, another senior, had a great year last year. His backup, another senior, Warren Burrell. Brother Warren is back. He got injured last year. He's back. I like Warren Burrell. I honestly like the 3 deep for both of our cornerback positions. And the third string is Ricky Gibson, the third. He's a freshman, 4-star coming in, who I think could push for a starting job at corner over Kamal Haddon. But we will see.
Also, I left out Martell Heights back up. So
okay.
I did just want to say that is going to be Tyson Russell. I apologize. I left that out. Britt, go ahead.
I was just going to say, when I look at these names, other than Kamal Haddon, I like what I see.
Yeah.
I see a lot of experience, but I just have trust issues.
Yeah, I'm the exact opposite. I see all potential, no proven, nothing proven. But I'm here for it. Our secondary was trash last year. I mean, it just was. It doesn't get much worse than we were. Us and UT, we were down there in bottom 10 of FBS. I mean, that's impressive.
Top 10, baby.
So, yeah. We're awesome. But it's, me and Britt are I don't feel great about Vanderbilt secondary. They're young. They're not deep. I don't even know how great I feel about the 2 deep at secondary, and that's the only position I'll say that out. I love Vanderbilt 2 and 3 deep at almost every position besides corner and tight end. So just wanted to throw that tidbit in there too.
Does Vanderbilt have like a star position?
We do have a star position. Yes.
Okay, let's do that next.
Okay, you want to do the star position?
Yeah. No, you go. You go first. Let's keep the continuity of it.
Okay, got it. So Vanderbilt's star position is going to be a hybrid defensive end / outside linebacker. That's what our star position is. I think theirs is different. Or is it the same?
It's pretty much the same.
Okay. So
drop back sometimes.
Yeah, drop back sometimes, rushes the passer a lot. So for us, I think our starter at the star position will be DeCosmo. He is a guy that we got. Yes, we have a lot of cool names this year. I'm literally so excited to yell these names. DeCosmo is a guy we got from Stanford. Was never a star, solid player, like some Pac-12 or whatever stupid conference they're in mentioned, stuff like that. This dude's not going to be a stud, but he's going to be a better player than what we've had in the past there. Miles Capers, who what everyone said was our best pass rusher last year before he tore his ACL in practice. I think he ends up still in this job before the year's over. He's just working back in from a torn ACL right now, so I think it may take a second. But Capers is probably the much better player. I think he ends up taking the jobs. or the job. But regardless, DeCosmo is right there. He'll be a solid player to plug in when you need him or start and fill a good role.
At the star position for the Big Orange, Tamarion McDonald, a Jeremy Pruitt guy, played last year, looked very good last year. His backup is Wesley Walker, who is also one of our starting safeties. There's another guy, Jordan Thomas, I believe. Let me check. Jordan Thomas, he's a sophomore. Don't know anything about him. Haven't seen him. But I feel good with McDonald, another senior there in kind of the secondary. All of Tennessee starters on defense are juniors and seniors.
Got it. I'm liking it.
I'm loving
So
it.
since we just said the start, do you want to just go ahead and talk about the rest of the linebackers?
Yeah, let's do it.
I mean, because basically that's what they are. So for me, at the Mike linebacker position, you're going to have Ethan Barr at the starter. Ethan Barr is a real try-hard white guy. He's got long hair. He doesn't have SEC speed, and that's your biggest thing. But he's always he's so technological, or that's not even the right word. He's so technical. Like, he's always in the right spot. They're always raving about him. He's always keeping the team up. Like, this dude's just a leader, and I think that's his best quality. His backup will be Prince Colley, the 4-star recruit we got from Notre Dame. I think that's pretty obvious. He could take the job. I mean, the dude was a stud coming into Notre Dame, and he's back with Lee. I love Prince Colley. Hope he does well. At the wheel linebacker, I've got Kane Patterson. Kane Patterson coming back. His little brother Langston is also on the team. From CPA, we got Kane from Clemson. We got Kane from Clemson as a 4-star transfer or in the transfer portal. His backup will be Bryce Cowan. He'll be a redshirt freshman. I'm really excited to hopefully see him play. They say he's super fast. He's quick on his feet. He's got a nose for the football. Just will be about tackling for him, I think. And then the anchor position, which is a position we have not talked about either, is a hybrid outside linebacker / safety. So we have a hybrid defensive end / outside linebacker. And then we also have a hybrid outside linebacker / safety, and that is CJ Taylor, the best player on the defense. Dude was flying around. He was electric last year. Pretty much everybody's seen the clip of him hurdling the running back and then spearing Brady Cook. That was electric. I was so hyped watching him do that. This dude's a beast. It's hard to find a better player than him for that position. And then his backup is Jeffrey Hugo, who is a redshirt, or no, he didn't get redshirted. He's a sophomore this year, played sometime last year, had his highs and his lows, but I still think you feel okay about him seeing the field, as well as every one of your linebackers. I'm really happy with.
Great job at
Mike
linebacker for Tennessee, the pussy destroyer himself, Aaron Beasley. Backing up Mr. Beasley, sophomore Elijah Herring. Elijah Herring's a guy I'm excited about. We saw him a lot last year in garbage time. He was a guy that we kind of picked up. He was my pick to click. He was my pick to go off this year. Remember that, Elijah Herring. Okay. His backup, third string, who cares? Quasi Garland. At will linebacker.
Yeah, Garland actually got hurt. He's not even going to play this year.
He did. He got hurt today, didn't he?
I seen that, yeah. Dude got hurt.
Rest in peace. Rest in peace.
He's struggling with a lot of injuries. Feel bad for that guy.
At will linebacker, the transfer from Brigham Young University, Keenan Pilley. He's a redshirt senior. If you're going to bring him in, I assume he's going to start. But his backup very well could overtake him, and that is true freshman Arian Carter from Smyrna.
Okay.
Very good player, very good prospect. His backup is Caleb Perry. Who cares? Okay, we have more. We have more to read at the Leo position, which I believe was, for you Tennessee fans, that was Byron Young's position last year. Honestly, after going through this, Tennessee and Vanderbilt kind of have the same thing going on. He's like a like a linebacker defensive lineman mashup.
I'm actually Vanderbilt and UT actually run the exact same defense, and I didn't know. Hold on. You keep talking and let me look.
Okay, at the Leo position, it's time for Roman Harrison to step up to his potential. A Jeremy Pruitt guy that he really liked, a senior, Roman Harrison, is going to start at the Leo position. Backing his two backups, both sophomores, got quite a bit of playing time last year and made an impact. Joshua Josephs and James Pierce, both highly ranked prospects, have a lot of potential, showed it on the field last year. Excited about both of those guys.
For the record, UT usually under Tim Banks. Is he still the DC?
Yeah.
Dope. No?
Yeah.
Oh, he is? Okay, perfect. He usually runs a 4-3, or he does run a 4-2-5. So actually, when they're in the 4-2-5, we have the same defense. But they're not apparently in it all the time. So I don't really know what that means. But
you'll normally see the 4-2-5.
Okay. Well, then we literally ran the exact same defense, and I'm stupid. So anything that I said earlier about us looking a little differently, I was incorrect because I didn't know that they ran that. I'm sorry.
Okay. Did you do your defensive ends?
I have not. No.
Okay, go ahead.
So you just want to do the rest of the positions? Nose tackle, D tackle, DN. So at nose tackle, because I'm the most excited to announce this position, you have Yalanin. I do not want to say his last name. It'll be bad. Okay. But Yalanin Arturo, I think. That's not the point. He is a redshirt freshman. He's huge. He eats up a lot of space. That's already a positive. When you're 6'8", 315 pounds, you'll do that. He's going to clog the middle up. I mean, he's going to be hopefully getting dirty. Like I said, redshirt freshman, I think you have to be excited about that in general, that he's going to have a look to start. And then his backup will be Christian James, who has done a lot of good things for you. I definitely don't want to sleep on Christian James. I think they're both great players, and they're both going to do work this year. So Vanderbilt looks pretty good at nose tackle. The defensive tackle, in our little 3-technique defensive tackle, the starter is going to be Devin Lee. Devin Lee was a dog last year. He was your best pass rusher, especially on the inside. Give me some more Devin Lee. His backup is going to be Davion Davis, a dude who was hurt all last year, didn't even get to play. He's a super senior. So give me Davion Davis. He's been a wrecking ball in camp so far. And then we've already talked about the star position. At the defensive end position, you're going to have who I think will be Vanderbilt's best defensive player. And for sure, our best pass rusher, I would imagine, is Darren Agu. And Darren Agu is a dog. He's talented. A lot of people came after him late in recruiting. Can't wait to see what he does. This is going to be Vanderbilt's best front seven they've had, maybe ever. I'm really excited to watch this front seven.
All right. At defensive end for your Tennessee Volunteers, Tyler Barron, senior. We've seen him a lot. Good player. His backup is Dominic Bailey, a redshirt junior. And his backup is Jason Jenkins, who I've never heard of in my life. At nose tackle, Big O, Amari Thomas, arguably the best player on this defensive line. He's a senior. He's a big old fat guy that just eats the football. Every time he sees it, he just eats
just seeing big old fat guy.
He eats it. And speaking of big old fat guys, his backup
It's Britt Dillard.
The JYD, the Junkyard Dog, Elijah Simmons. The man has not done anything. He's a redshirt senior, has not done anything in 4 years. That's going to change right here. The Junkyard Dog.
But his last name's Simmons. He's got to be good, defensive lineman.
He's got to be good. He's 5'3", 475 pounds. The Junkyard Dog. And his backup is Karat Garland. Another Garland in there that is still alive. Defensive tackle. We're starting to see the emergence of Jeremy Pruitt guys who we thought were good that we're actually going to see if they're good or not. Bryson Eason. He's a redshirt junior. Omar Norman Lott. I don't know. Tyree West, the sophomore coming in. He was a highly ranked. Okay. He's your cousin. Other than that, who cares?
Thanks. I agree.
Is that all I have? That's
I
all I
actually
have.
agree. Listen. Anyways, after all that's been said, there's the depth chart. There's who we think is going to be the starters, first and second string. Britt, how do you feel overall looking at it after we've went over it? And I know it's been long. I did get asked for a longer episode though, so hopefully you're enjoying how long this episode is going to be. But Britt, we went through all of this. How do you feel from top to bottom? What's UT's weakest spot? You're like, ooh, if we get banged up here, that's going to be bad for the season. Like if we get banged up at this position, I'm not comfortable seeing 2 or 3 deep.
Other than the secondary, I would say offensive line.
Yeah, I would definitely agree.
We didn't do special teams.
Oh, we didn't do special teams. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we've gone an hour, 15 minutes. Let's go some more.
Okay.
This is Where's the Line, brought to you by Bud Light and Tyler Childers. Go stream Tyler
Facts.
Childers. And go shop at Target while you're at it.
Okay. Matthew Hayball, one of the best punters in the conference last year, will be coming back. He's a dog. Love Matt Hayball. He be flipping the field like that. You got to have some love for punters. Punters matter. Okay, punters' lives matter. Shout out to the punters. Yeah, Matt Hayball coming back. Big win. Kicker's a freaking disaster. We lost big leg Joe Bulovis. We got this guy named Will Ferris. He low-key trash. Got a transfer from Kansas, and I don't even know how to say his name. Once again, he low-key sucks. And then we did something that literally no one does. We gave a scholarship to a kicker. No one does that, in case you were wondering. Nobody recruits high school kickers. If a high school kicker comes onto your team, they're almost always walk-ons. Never do they actually get a scholarship. Most of the time, how does everybody feel there's kicker roll, transfer portal, almost always. And so with that being said, we gave one to somebody. His name's Brock Taylor. Actually was from Knoxville, was rated the #1 kicker in the nation. And dude has a murder leg, but he is 6 foot, 150 pounds. That is almost like Britt Dillard. If Britt Dillard lost weight, that would be like Britt Dillard running out on an SEC field. And I'm just, that's a little guy, and
I could do it.
I don't know. I don't
appreciate
feel great about him.
I appreciate you saying that I'm 6 feet. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. I got your back. And I don't feel great about it, but Brock Taylor is my personal favorite. I hope he wins the job if he can kick it through, because why not go ahead and let him get out there? He's got a killer leg. He made like a 50-something yarder in high school.
What about returners?
Returners, I think is going to be Martell Height. I think will end up returning punts. They're wanting to Will Shepherd to get out of there, so you'd look for a true freshman to also return punts. And then at kickoff, it'll be Jaden McGowan again. Super fast. Why would it not be him? Maybe Junior Sherrill from Lipscomb Academy see some action back there, but I would think McGowan.
At punter for Tennessee, Jackson Ross from Down Under. A big
That's
Australian dude. He's ambidextrous. Tennessee fans, say a prayer, moment of silence. Thank God that Paxton Brooks is no longer on the team. Paxton Brooks is the worst punter I have ever watched play football for Tennessee. I don't care. I'm sure he's a nice guy, got a great family, good Christian man. He sucks at football. I just got so pissed off.
Okay, you hate Paxton Brooks. I didn't see that coming, but okay.
Okay, your place kicker and kickoff specialist is a transfer from Indiana, Charles Campbell. He's from Knoxville, Tennessee. Whatever. He's no Chase McGrath. Your punt returner is D. Williams. He's a beast. Squirrel White's behind him. Your kick returner is also D. Williams and Squirrel White.
D. Williams, he's electric.
He's good.
Good person to have back there.
Good guy. Wish I could see him somewhere else on the field in the secondary. But, yeah. Hour and 20 minutes.
What position does he play?
He doesn't play anywhere. He's
just a returner?
Yes. He's like Evan. You remember Evan Berry?
Yeah.
He's like Evan Berry. That's all he does.
Okay. That's cool, I guess. Good for
Just
him.
a plethora of talent in Knoxville.
That's kind of stupid for him, but whatever. Yeah. I mean, look, I feel great about this Vanderbilt team, man. I can't wait to watch this season happen. For those of you watching on Spotify and you can actually see us, because if you're not watching on Spotify, what are you doing? I'm wearing a Hawaii shirt. I'm sitting in Vanderbilt Stadium. I hope Hawaii fans are enjoying their life right now, because this month is the month that they must get slaughtered in the States. It's the month that when they come to Nashville, Tennessee, we just gonna beat their ass and send them back to that island. Okay? And I had to wear this shirt to kind of make peace with them for the moment. But from here on out, I hate the island. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, beautiful place. It's like Theo Vaughn
Great.
said. It's like
Really
Theo
enjoyed
Vaughn
it
said.
last time.
People love going to Hawaii, but they come back. They don't stay there.
I would definitely stay there. Things would have to work out, but not the point. The point is that it's been Joseph West and Britt Dillard here on Where's the Line. A lot of information. If you don't like just learning about the teams, you're probably not going to enjoy this episode. But if you're still here, hey, thanks so much for listening. We appreciate you. And we hope you guys simply
Have a great one.
have a great one.